This episode is part of our Australian established brand series. Today's beer is Cascade Premium Light. Hello from Beer Australia Reviews, and today we will be sampling, tasting and reviewing some Cascade Premium Light Lager from Tasmania. Now, this is a light beer. It's supposed to be like 2.5 or 2.6%, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not this is anything like as good as some of the new premium low alcohol lagers. So some of the craft beer producers right now have started to do like 0.5% alcohol craft beers, so we'll see if this one is anything like that. Also, it's interesting to see how this compares to other beers around the planet which have like a lower alcohol content. So the two that obviously come to mind right now to me are Berliner Weiss from Germany, which is 2.5%, and also you get an English brown ale which has a percentage of about 2.8%. Both of those beers, the Berliner Weiss and the English brown ale, have like they're strong flavoured beers. They're not like a light in flavour beer. Also, there are a couple of other beers around Australia which are slightly lower in alcohol than what's more common these days. So I'm thinking along the lines of like Little Creatures Rogers beer, which is a dark beer that has a lot of flavour. And I often have the Little Creatures Rogers if I don't want to have too much alcohol. I'm not looking to get any sort of a hit, but I want something with a strong flavour. I would go for a Little Creatures Rogers. So we'll try this one and see what it's like. Now, I have heard a rumour about the Cascade Premium Light that it's no longer brewed in Tasmania. If that's the case, that's absolutely awful. The whole reason for brewing in Tasmania is for the quality of the water, the fact that it's a temperate climate. You can locally source the barley and the hops and things, and because it's a temperate climate, because it's the coldest part of Australia, with it being the most southerly part, the potential for making beer is just better. Now, I used to drink the Cascade quite a few years ago, 20 odd years ago, and that was definitely brewed in Tasmania. This one, it says established in Tasmania, so I've heard a rumour, like I say, that it's brewed in Brisbane. If that's the case, then it's not the same beer, because the water is different, the conditions are different. Yeah. Anyway, let's give it a try, see what it's like. Now, this has got a twisty top. Will I be able to do the twisty, or do I need the opener? Oh, there we go. Oh, lots of fizz, and there's some aromas coming off that one. That was more than what I expected. Okay. Looks nice. It's got a sparkle to it. Oh, that actually looks and smells good. I might be doing it a disservice. Yeah, I'm actually getting some decent aromas from this thing, and it looks good. It's got a good sparkle to it. It's got a nice head to it. This is looking nice. Let's give it a try. It's got like a basic lager sort of a smell to the thing. I mean, it's never going to be an absolute, despite the fact that they call it a premium beer, it's never going to be a super premium beer. Question is, how much have they made this one down to a price, and how much have they put into the quality of the ingredients? So, and also, can we taste the water or not? Let's give it a go. It's got that basic lager smell. It's not smelling that dissimilar to some of the German, like, cheaper beers. If you've had the Oettinger beer across Australia, it's similar sort of to that one. It's actually a darker colour than the Oettinger. Looks like it's got a bit more flavour to it. Let's give it a try. It doesn't have lashings of flavour. It's very refreshing though. It's a light flavour. Doesn't last. There's a tiny little bit of bitterness in there. There's a sweet sort of a lemony aroma at the very start. Not a lot of bitterness. I don't know how many hops they've used in this thing, and whether it actually has any actual real hops in it. It's likely to be a hop extract. I don't think that's Tasmanian water. The water quality and actually now the flavour. Now that I've got used to the thing, the flavour is disappearing really quick. There's a little bit of a drying sensation on the top of my mouth, which I often get if I taste anything like a beer made from lower quality water, like hard water. Feels like it's a little bit drying on the tongue, and that's the water. It's not the way the beer is made. It's not the ingredients or the style. It's literally the water that it's produced from. So I've been to Tasmania and I've drank the local beer in Tasmania. The water quality in Tasmania has been the best that I've come across across Australia. It's enough for me to say, yep, I'll go and live there just so I can taste better water. It's a bit disappointing then because this does not taste like it comes from Tasmania anymore. They should go back and they should make it, because the brewery itself, the Cascade Brewery in Hobart, is actually the longest established brewery across Australia. It started producing beer in the year 1824, so it's nearly 200 years old, which makes it like one of the oldest breweries across the planet, really. It still continues to brew and produce beer actually in Hobart itself, but the cheaper ranges I think must have been offloaded to just a cheaper place to make the beers. So I've heard a rumour that it's Brisbane, which is not the best place on the planet to make cheap beer, because if you're going to be making beer in one of the locations like Brisbane or like Perth, then you need to really treat the water in a different way in order to make a quality beer, and that makes the beer more expensive. So to me, it makes no sense whatsoever to offload a cheap beer to a place where you need to treat the water in an expensive way to make a decent beer. But I'm not the person in charge. So let's give it another go, see if there's anything else we can get on this one. There's not much aroma. It's not unpleasant. It tastes like a basic sort of a lager type of beer. I wouldn't really call it like a Pilsner beer, but now it's just, I'm getting more water than actual beer flavour. It still looks good. Still look at that sparkle on that one. Would I have this one again? If I was needing something cold and quick, and especially if later in the day I was going to be driving, then I would consider having one of these. Outside of that though, I would probably recommend, if you want a low alcohol thing, to try one of the premium craft beers that people are making down to like a 0.5% craft beer, because they just have more flavour in them. They might be like a no alcohol or a low alcohol beer, the craft ones, but the same amount of care that goes into the premium craft beers is going into the low alcohol ones. So the experience of the drink is just a nicer drink. You can't always have a sweet soft drink if you're out and about, especially if when you get to a certain age you stop drinking soft drinks. So this type of a beer I'm not completely averse to. Like I say, I like Berliner Weiss. I like the English brown ales that come out at like 2.8%. I do like the Little Creatures Rogers beer, which is I think 3% or 3.4%. But this one, yeah, I would have it again. If I was out for a meal and I was the person who was driving and I was going to have one light beer, I would consider having one of these. So it's okay for that one. Do I wish they take the production back to Tasmania? Yes, please. And imagine if they were to make this style beer, but with premium ingredients in Tasmania. That would be a good beer. So Cascade, not as nice as what it used to be, just because it's made now in Brisbane. But I love the label. I love the thylacine, which is the Tasmanian tiger or Tasmanian wolf, depending on who you ask. So I used to drink the Cascade beers a few years ago. I think they were better quality then. I think they've been cost cut, and one of the ways they've cost cut is to offload them from Tasmania to the mainland. But Cascade Premium Light, thanks for watching.